I'm Randy Vance. I'm at Bud and Mary's Marina in Isla Mirada. I'm with Nick Stanczyk, who is the owner of this beautiful 42-foot Freeman. Nick's family runs Bud and Mary's and have owned it for decades. Nick is a very popular charter captain down here, and you're running an extremely smooth riding boat, but you're going for a little bit more smooth here. Tell me what you're doing.
We're super excited. We got the new Shoxs pedestals, and I heard about them for a while. I always wanted to try one, and you know, we're not always going 3 or 4 miles. Sometimes we're running 40, 50 miles, and just want the ultimate comfort, and want to be comfortable when I sit down and run the boat.
Well, I think there's a lot going on out in the ocean. You could be out there with 7, 8, 10-foot seas when you had to come back, and that little bit of extra cushioning probably just makes you a little lighter on your feet when you get back to finish the hard part of the job.
Yep, definitely, 100% agree, and can't predict the weather, but when we gotta go, we gotta go.
Now, one of the things that I noticed is that Shoxs comes in all different configurations. The Freeman 42 that we're working on has a tall base, so we're going to use a shorter pedestal on the installation. Now, right now, we're going to walk you through the simple steps of installing 2 Shoxs pedestals. Our installation process took about 3 hours. The toughest job was removing the original pedestals, which were both through-bolted and sealed with 5200 sealant. A spray adhesive called D-Bond softened the 5200 adhesive, assisting in the job. Every installation is different, and in this case, we needed to make a flange from starboard to cover the original bolt holes. We positioned the pedestal and measured its distance from key measuring points to make sure it was centered at the helm. Then we drilled a pilot hole using a smaller drill bit through one of the holes. Next, we drilled pilot holes through the remaining holes. Then we used a 5/16" drill bit to make the actual bolt holes. We ran the drill backwards briefly to chamfer the gel coat and prevent chipping and tear out when drilling the final hole. After we bolted the plates down, and after replacing the seats on the new Shoxs pedestals, we tested them for proper pressurization. The O-ring around the compression cylinder let us know if we needed to add more pressure. Pressure can be maintained with a simple hand pump. There's a handy holder that will hold the Schrader valve on top of the deck, but in this case, Nick felt his adjustments would be rare and opted to let the Schrader valve remain below the deck. The installation was simpler and easier than we thought. Now it was time to test it. So Nick, that was quite a ride. What was our top speed out there?
We were cruising around at 45 miles an hour there for most of the ride.
And then what would you estimate the seas to be?
You know, it's blowing 20 knots right now out of the northeast, east-northeast. Some gust 25. It's solid 3 to 4 foot. It's a tight wave period, and there's a few 5-foot swells mixed in.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I saw some troughs that were pretty far down there from sitting up here. Now, you've ridden this boat before we changed the seats. I haven't. How is the ride different?
You know, the boat ride's great. It's an amazing boat, but with these seats, it's that much better.
It's just like it chops the peaks off them.
For sure. You don't feel it in your back, your body. It's comfortable, and coming off those waves, like, you don't even tell if it's rough or calm, you know?
Well, there was a couple times where we just about barked the props, but you were pretty quick on the throttles. We came down, and it was just no problem. And this is usually the hardest riding side of the boat, except for in front of the console.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I liked them pretty well. I'd sure put them on my boat.
Definitely, I'm sold. I never had them before, and I'm excited to have them now.
I'm Randy Vance, and with Nick Stanczyk, we're at Bud and Mary's Marina in Isla Mirada, and these are the Shoxs shock-absorbing seats.